We're halfway through the India versus Afghanistan match, and India have bowled their 50 overs, but Afghanistan have posted 272 runs on the scoreboard with the loss of 8 wickets. Sorry, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the Indian bowlers did a good job, or should they have restricted them much before?
I think Indians did a good job. It wasn't an easy wicket to bowl on. There was a lot of juice in it initially. Nothing much for the spinners. They held their own. If you look at Kuldeep's figures, Jadeja's figures, Siraj had a bit of an off day. I would have just expected, I think if Siraj bowled better, we would have been 30, 35 runs less. I said that is the only cause of worry as far as I'm concerned, because Siraj has had 2 games where it hasn't come out right out of his hand. And we'll be going to some tougher matches, we're going to a tougher phase of the tournament. He'll be playing on some flat wickets. He'll be playing against stronger teams which will have which will come strong at him. See, in the first game, the Aussies knew it was going to be a little slow wicket. Spinners will have a lot of bearing. In that, he leaked runs. This one, Afghanistan batting, not the strongest. We spoke about it in the pre-show. He's leaked runs. So this is a cause of worry long term in this tournament.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Shiraz is your one of your strike bowlers. You expect him to take wickets. It doesn't matter if he goes for 65 runs in 10 overs, but he has to take wickets. That's what he didn't get. Having said that, I think overall Indian bowlers did a decent job, because after 30 overs they were close to 150 for 3 wickets. So they could have got 280 or beyond. Considering that, Indians have done well to pull things back a little bit in the last 10-15 overs.
But I still believe, personally, I believe that India should have been much more effective in the middle overs. And this has been a problem for the Indian bowling lineup for a long time now. And I've been observing, today we went from overs 14 to 35 without a single wicket. That is a problem.
Spot on. This is the reason why we need Ashwin out there. I know, we don't play with the conditions. For me, it's about wicket-taking bowlers. I always take a cue out of the 2011 World Cup, because that was playing in the same venue. That's India. That was India won it. So let's take a cue out of what worked for India in that. If you see, Zahir Khan was phenomenal, but Yuvraj Singh. There are people coming and picking up wickets. Raina picked up wickets. Harbhajan picked up wickets. Ashwin picked up wickets. In the middle, it's Afghanistan would have made 270, 280. If you don't pick up wickets between 15 and 35, like you said, other teams will get 350. Because that is the time you bulk up, you bolster. And that's the time when the batters have time with them. So you give a Smith time, you give a Markram time, you give the middle order batters time, you give a George Butler time in the middle. He'll make you pay. And also, that's the reason why for me, Kuldeep is effective. I don't want 10-40-0 from Kuldeep. I want 10-53 from Kuldeep. Because you have to take wickets in the middle, otherwise somebody else is paying. Today Siraj played.
Yeah.
But what will happen is Kuldeep bowls 10-14, Jadeja bowls 10-50, fast bowlers will go up to 10-70, 10-80 against the top sides. So you're spot on for me taking wickets in the middle. If you don't do that, you'll be in trouble. You'll be chasing 330-340 every game, which is never easy.
Exactly. I mean, what you said is right, and India didn't. That's what I said, that Indians did well to pull things back towards the end overs. In the middle, they as we saw, I mean, over numbers. I mean, after 30 overs, they were 148 for 3.
Yes.
And they lost. I think there was a partnership for the 4th wicket.
Yes.
So that's where Indians
had 80 runs and Rahmatullah had 60 something runs.
That's where Indians lost the plot somewhat in the middle overs. And that is something that, as Jyoti pointed out, it will become a concern if this continues. Against better sides, as he said, I mean, Smith or a Butler or a Markram, they won't give it away. They won't give away the start. They will make you pay for those in the end overs.
The bowling analysis is in 2 halves. There is Bumrah, 3.9 economy. There's Kuldeep, 4 economy. Ravindra Jadeja, 4.8 economy.
Yes.
And the others are 6.4, 6.1 and 5.2. Now this is, with all due respect to Afghanistan, not the strongest. So what happens when this is England, or this is Australia, or this is New Zealand? This will be, if these guys are 1040, others are going at 1080, 880, and then this 280 becomes 340.
Yes, but we have Subhayan on the ground, and he is connecting with let us know what what are his thoughts, because he's been watching the game very closely. Subhayan, are you there?
Yes, yes. Am I audible? Yeah. So to summarize this match, Jasprit Bumrah is a world-class bowler. It's no hidden fact. It's not a hidden fact, but Jasprit Bumrah once again showed that why his fitness, why his form was so crucial for the Indian team in this ODI World Cup, and once again a fantastic spell to start with. And of course, credit to the Afghan batters, especially Hasmatullah and Asmatullah as well. Both the batters stitched a good partnership in between, and that took them to a respectable total in this Arun Jaitley Stadium track. I think it's a tad bit low, 60 to 80 run shot. India should chase it comfortably, but what an environment inside the Arun Jaitley Stadium. As soon as Naveen Ullah came to bat, the entire stadium was chanting Kohli, Kohli, and it was a rowdy welcome by this Delhi crowd.
Yeah, tell us more about that because we're quite interested to know how the crowd will react to Naveen Ulak when he is on the ground because that has been some sort of a topic, a hot topic when it comes to playing in Delhi between Gautam Gambhir is over there as well. So what's the
Right.
chemistry like over there?
Virat Kohli was fielding at long on, so he was very close to the crowd. So the entire crowd was focusing on Virat Kohli at the time when Naveen came to bat. And after that, as soon as Naveen stepped onto the field, the entire stadium, the packed Arun Jaitley Stadium was chanting Virat Kohli for at least 5 to 10 minutes continuously. So something in Chennai, we saw the crowd was chanting Vande Mataram, but today it was all Virat Kohli, and of course, him being a local boy, the crowd had to support Virat Kohli, and it was expected. The build-up was around Naveen ul Haq and Virat Kohli, and yes, it lived up to the expectation. I have seen few fans who have gathered. I have watched. मारेगा शतक सचिन का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ेगा so that's the love this local crowd that gives to Virat Kohli whenever he plays in this stadium and of course and yes live crowd local crowd whatever you call it and they are supporting Virat Kohli even those who don't have ticket outside the stadium they are waiting for Virat Kohli to come up with a three-figure mark.
Of course, the crowds are going to be electrifying when Virat Kohli comes out to bat and Naveen Ulak is there on the field. But since you're there, Subayon, let us know what the conditions are like because we saw that that was a better of a track. But do you see dew setting anytime soon?
No, I don't think that you will play a lot of role in this match. The pitch is an absolute belter. I spoke to the curator for a couple of minutes last night. It was an off the record chat, but what he said was the demand of today's cricket is all about runs and sixes, so the crowd stay entertained for the 8 to 9 hours period they are inside the stadium, and that's what they build it up. The pitch is an absolute cement. Yes, of course, the Pacers will get a bit of assistance early on. If the Afghan Pacers can capitalize on that, then it is good for them. But I don't think it should be a big worry. It should be an easy chase actually for the Indian team and a golden opportunity for Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan to build up their confidence heading into the India-Pakistan game. I think you are on mute. You are on mute. The studio is on mute. If the producer can correct it, studio is on mute.
Jasprit Bumrah is a wonderful bowler. Very, very different than any other fast bowlers I've seen. Very, very unorthodox, but highly effective. And yes, to answer your question, when you're coming back from an injury after a long layoff, it's always concerning for the bowler because you don't want to get injured again. And in the back of your mind, you don't want to go flat out too soon or too quick. So it's always a concern in the back of your mind. So I reckon that when Boomer does come back, he'll be an asset to the England, to the India bowling lineup. And my advice to him would be to take it a little bit slowly. Don't rush back into it or try to go flat out from day one. Obviously, he will have some practice sessions, maybe some games before, but it's always important to take it on a slower basis, build up into it, and then when you're really comfortable, then you can go flat out. But it's not a wise thing to go flat out from ball one, because in the back of your mind, you don't want to be hurt again.
5 seconds. 5, 4. Those were some of Jasprit Bumrah's visuals from the ground where he was practicing. But let's talk about how effective he has been in the death overs. He's been making an incredible comeback. And we have some stats over here about Jasprit Bumrah's death bowling. And if we're looking at it, he starts off well, of course, but then doesn't get any breakthroughs. When we look at his fourth over, he has 1 wicket. He gives away 4 runs. And then let's jump to the 8th over that Jasprit Bumrah has bowled. He has 2 wickets in his 8th over. He gives away some runs in the 9th over, but then again he bowls a 3-run over in the 10th, in his 10th over, and gets a wicket as well. How incredible has Jasprit Bumrah been?
No, this is the reason why it's been a saving grace for India. This is the reason why they're not chasing 310, 320, because he came up strong. But this is not going to happen every day. There will be games where he'll get carded also because he wasn't challenged, as I was saying, with the Afghanistan batters. They're not among the top batters in the world. So when there will be a Steve Smith batting on 80, or you'll have there a Markram batting on 80, or you have somebody like Josh Butler or a Johnny Bairstow who can actually hurt you batting at that stage, that is when he'll be tested. That is the reason why you don't want these batters to bat at the end. You want them to be 6-7 down. So they are kind of stuck between the rock and the hard place. Should we go for it or should we just play after? If they have batters in the heart, you're bound to leak runs. If Bumrah doesn't, Siraj will. If Siraj doesn't, Bumrah one day will. Somebody will go for it, that's for sure.
It's all about a partnership, right?
Yeah.
When you have one bowler soaking up the runs from one end, automatically wickets are going to fall from the other end. But what are your thoughts about it as well?
I think I would say Bumrah has come back pretty well. I mean, it's good that he didn't go back to his best in his second or third comeback match. He's if you look at it, he's going up gradually. He started maybe here and now he's here. He can go up to here. So I like the graph. I mean, it's not he's speaking gradually and not everything is not happening at the same time. He needs time to come back because he hasn't played anything for a long time. He had a body issue to address. After that, I like what I see, and I think he will get better as the tournament goes on. He will get better.
Also, what happens when you come over an injury like this, you always worry about the injury coming back. It's happened to me where I've had a hamstring injury. So every time I ran fast, it's really under the pump. I feel, is it going to snap again? Is it going to snap again?
Yeah.
Because I go back to the field. You play cricket, you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah. So when you push yourself, in a way, it's good that for Bumrah, the first match was kind of an easy game for him because the people were turning and the Aussie batters were struggling, didn't get off to a flyer. Here also not the strongest of opponents. So he's slowly getting into it because he faced some real tough opposition in some flat conditions, and we need him at his best.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about the injury, possibility of the injury flaring up again. Do you reckon they might, in the middle of the tournament, since it's a long 2 months of cricket?
It will depend on how he feels. I mean, he's such a senior player, so they leave it with him. If he was a junior player, they would have monitored it, not left it to him, because when you're a junior, and you and I have been juniors, it's very difficult to go inside and rest.
Yeah.
But when you're a senior, you can say that they're buddies now. Hey, Rohit, where are their buddies? They play for India for 10 years. So they can say, I think Indian tournament. But which is that game? Who are we playing? Which is that venue? Is he least potent in those venues? Is the opponent weak? So then you give a bit of. Right now in the World Cup, the way it is now, if they win this game, 4 out of 4, depends who you're playing. But some strong games coming up as well. So you need him at his best.
Uh, and we have Shubhayan joining as well. Again, once again, I hope the network issue is sorted out now. But Shubhayan, what do you think about the same question? Do you think Jasprit Bumrah should be going forward?
I think there's a bit of a net issue, but it was around Jasprit Bumrah, I guess.
I think there's still a bit of a network issue.
These jammers around the ground, they don't help.
I know. But it's interesting that you brought up, the point where you said that if it was England batting against us, at this moment it would have been, I think the total would have looked very, very different.
Exactly.
They would have gone over 320 easily.
And they bat deep. Sam
Yeah.
Curran, 8, 9.
9. I think they bat till 9.
Yeah, Matthew Wood can hold his own, so they bat deep. That's the reason why, we keep it for another day. I always feel the team that bats strong at 7, 8, 9 is the one that wins the tournament. We saw what happened in the last World Cup. You need it's a long game. 300 balls is a lot of balls. It's actually more cricket than you play in one day in multi-days cricket. In test matches, you play 90 overs. This is 100 overs. This is 10 overs more than what you play in a multi-days match. So this is a long game, and this is where your depth in bowling and batting. 7 bowlers, 9 batters. Yeah. Those are the teams that come through.
Yeah, but considering Afghanistan's batting lineup and the way that they have performed in the past, should they have gotten this big of a total?
They should have. They would have feel, yeah.
I think they will be disappointed. The end total that they have got, they probably would have looked at something more than this. But what I noticed today was I saw some application and some changing temperament of the Afghan batsmen. I mean, they didn't go for the shots as they do early on. I mean, their openers are known for going after the bowlers, which they did not. And the 4th wicket partnership also, they concentrated on consolidating, and only after getting set did they go for the big shots. So I like this change in this application, change in this attitude, which should stand them in good stead in the games to come.
Yeah, but since we're talking about the Afghanistan batting lineup, we have a few stats about that as well, and we're going to look at Afghanistan's batting performance with 10 over breaks. In every 10 overs, how have they looked? When the first wicket fell in 0 to 10 overs, Afghanistan had 48 runs. In the 20th over, Afghanistan had been 2 wickets down, but with 35 runs. In 30th over, they had 64 runs and no wicket had fallen over there. And that's where the most runs came in as well. But when we look at the 40th over, they had 1 wicket down, but 64 runs scored. And then in the 50th over, they had 61 runs and 4 wickets fallen. That also is a proof of how well the Indian bowling lineup has been in the death overs.
Absolutely, I think they fell behind in the second one and the last one. I think 148 is pretty good against a little bit of greenish tinge to this Arun Jaitley Stadium pitch. Ball was jagging around, very high quality bowlers bowling, so they held on over there. It is between 11 and 20, only 35 with 2 wickets. So neither of you got the runs and you've lost wickets as well.
Yeah.
And the next 2 sectors were nice, but again at the end. But because you've lost wickets, so 1 and then 2 here, and then 1 more, 3. So even after losing 4 wickets, so you entered the 40th over losing just 4 wickets, and you lost 4 more, but you only got 61 runs. This is where the stronger teams, if they've lost 4 wickets, they'll have real proper batters in the middle, and somebody batting in 70, 80, and they will take this. And when they get out, they'll have the Sam Currans coming in, and they'll hurt you as well. That's what today Afghanistan didn't have, and that's why there was no there's no icing on the cake. They did the hard job, but at the end, it sort of, was a team end.
An average score.
Yeah.
For Afghanistan. What do you reckon about?
I think, other than the last 10 overs, over numbers 31 to 40, that is also where they could not really do what they could have done. That's because they had wickets in hand. After 30 overs, they were 147 for 3. Next 10 overs, they scored 64 runs, which is okay. But again, I mean, since considering that they had wickets in hand, they could have probably stepped on the gas a little more. They could have got a few runs more over there. So I think the last 20 overs, basically, they couldn't do what they could have.
That's it from us for this chat. We will be coming back after the match is done. Join us then.